At this time, China continues to threaten the United States, and that is turning into a massive problem. The one thing I can tell you is that these threats are not going to stop. Right now, China and the United States have to work together. This is exactly what the Chinese foreign minister has said. This is what President Biden has said. But can they do it? That is something that only time will tell. All I can tell you is that yes, they are working together. The problem is there are so many tensions that are very high right now between the United States and China that some say a war is inevitable. So we will see moving forward. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button, and now let's begin. China remains a threat to the United States for multiple reasons. Number one, just in the past year, we have seen a Chinese spy balloon travel over the United States, and reports indicate that it used our U.S. systems and internet in order to communicate back with China. That's concerning. But China said, no, that wasn't them. They were not trying to do that. Now, what we continue to see is that China is still a threat to the United States because of their decision with what they want to do with Taiwan. According to the Chinese President Xi Jinping, he said back in, I think, November or October, he told President Biden in person in San Francisco, he told him that China will reunify Taiwan with mainland China at some point. Now, Pentagon officials originally said that this was going to happen in between 2025 and 2027, but President Xi Jinping said no, there is no timeline as to when this will happen because we just don't know. But this is, this is an issue because right now the United States said they would back Taiwan. We would fully back Taiwan. Taiwan is a major piece, okay, a major piece to what we do in the United States. And it's also a major piece if it were to reunify with China. That would give the United States, it would hurt the United States for one. But the second thing is Taiwan is a major piece in that region of the country, or the world. So look at this. I want to show you this really quick. Taiwan says these Chinese balloons are harassment and a threat to air safety. What's happening is China is sending these balloons, which China can do. Taiwan can't do much about it, but Taiwan's saying it's a safety issue. I want to read a little bit of this though. It says Taiwan's defense ministry accused China on Saturday of harassment and trying to affect public morale by repeatedly sending balloons over the self-governing island. It says a ministry analysis found that the paths of the balloons pose a serious threat to international passenger flights, according to the report by Taiwan's official military news agency. The ministry called for an immediate end to the activity to ensure flight safety. Now, one of the things that we've seen recently is China is not threatening, is not attempting to take over Taiwan, but what they're doing is it could impact who becomes president. Because what's happening right now is Taiwan is picking the next president. It says Taiwan to pick new president as China ramps up threats. Choice between war and peace. One an analyst believes the election result will significantly increase the possibility of a war. Again, it's going to go one of two ways. One person could increase the possibility of war. The other person could increase the possibility of just peace between China and Taiwan. And that's, again, a major, major thing. Because if we do see a possibility of a war between China and Taiwan, guess what? The United States gets dragged into this. Okay, we get dragged into another potential war. This is not something that we need at this time, because according to the Chinese foreign minister, he says healthy U.S.-China ties are no longer a choice. And I want to read you this statement from him. This is what he says. He says, it can be said that China-United States cooperation is no longer a dispensable choice for the two countries or even for the world, but a mandatory question that must be seriously addressed. That's what he said. He called for the two sides, Okay, right here. He says he called for the two sides to make full use of all mechanisms that have been restored between them to build bridges of communication between them, and called for cooperation in the areas of diplomacy, economy, finance, commerce, and agriculture. Okay. Now, so where do we go from here? Well, this is where things get interesting, because the United States and President Biden have said that we are fully going to back and support Taiwan. But at the same time as we back and support Taiwan, China wants to restore what we used to have. Okay? And if we do that, does that impact our relationship with Taiwan? Well, the answer is no, it won't. But there's also something coming up in this next year that is going to impact our relationship with China, and that is a presidential election. As of right now, we have seen our ties with China, well, they were somewhat tough during the Trump presidency, those 4 years, because former President Donald Trump wanted to see things made in the United States. Right? He wanted to make America great again. Now, the problem with this is that right now China feels threatened, because if former President Donald Trump does retake the presidency in this upcoming year, well, guess what? He's probably going to do a little bit more for the United States again. He doesn't want products made in China. He wants them made right here in the U.S. Okay? That means products are going to cost a little bit more expensive, right? The costs increase, but we get them in a quicker time frame. We don't have to worry about international shipping because they're right here, right? All these things, play a factor. But that also hurts some of our stuff coming from Taiwan. Now, keep in mind that China feels threatened by this. This is nothing new. We knew this was going to happen, right? We were expecting this. But as China feels threatened, they're going to do things against the United States to prepare for this. Okay? One of the things is China doesn't want to send all the different building materials, right? Different minerals. China doesn't want to send them to the United States. Why would they? Right? It's turning into a little bit of a problem. But again, and this is where we're seeing some sanctions against the U.S. from China. The United States is placing sanctions on China, right? It happens, right? Tensions are high, but what I can tell you is moving forward in 2024, don't expect tensions between the United States and China to come down. Expect them to stay high. Expect them to stay elevated for the majority of 2024. Yes, the foreign minister of China and probably here officials in the United States, we're going to continue to talk. Whether or not this goes anywhere, I don't know. All I can tell you is they promise they'll continue to work together. They'll continue to have these discussions, which they haven't really had in about 14 months. So that's actually big news. So we'll see what happens moving forward. All I can tell you is China continues to pose a threat to the United States because of the possibility of a war between China and Taiwan. The United States would have to step in. So that's where we're at this time. As always, as I know more, I promise I'll come back on and share all latest news and updates. But that is what we know as of today. So again, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I'll see you guys on the next one.